There's been a strange phenomenon sweeping across the internet lately. People from all walks of life have been sharing memories of things that never happened, people they never met, and places that don't exist. But could this really be down to faulty memories? Or is there something more sinister going on? Could reality itself be being rewritten, and we're slipping through parallel universes without even knowing it? It started in 2009 when a man named Fiona Broom was speaking at a paranormal conference in Philadelphia. She described an experience she'd had several years before. She was watching television with her family when an actor on the screen said, "We've always had Nelson Mandela." He was talking about South Africa's first black president. At the time, Fiona thought nothing of it. But 2 days later, she was talking to her friend and mentioned the phrase. Her friend looked puzzled. "What do you mean? We never had a Nelson Mandela." Fiona thought her friend was joking at first, but then she realized he was serious. He told her that he'd heard the same line from the same actor while watching the same episode of The Simpsons. Only he remembered the line as, "We've always had Nelson Mandela." Realizing that he wasn't joking, Fiona did some digging. She discovered that many other people also remembered the line, which had never been said, and assumed that they were all mistaken. It took her a while longer to figure out that the word Mandela was actually a mispronunciation of Mandela. All this time, she and everyone else who shared her false memory had been thinking of him as Nelson Mandela, a name that doesn't exist. The phenomenon baffled Fiona, but she soon realized that she wasn't alone. People from all over the world started coming forward with their own examples of things they were absolutely sure they remembered but could unverify. A woman named Lauren Stumpo recalled how the Monopoly box used to feature a picture of the game's inventor, Charles Darrow, but no one could find any evidence that he ever existed or that he'd even on the box. In fact, Monopoly had originally been based on a game called Landlord's Game, invented by a woman named Lizzie Maiji, who'd created it to demonstrate the negative effects of property speculation. Charles Darrow was an unemployed man who saw an opportunity to make money when he heard about Landlord's Game. He made some modifications and sold the game to Parker Brothers, claiming that he'd invented it. It didn't take long for the phenomenon to go viral. Before long, hundreds of thousands of people had come forward with their own stories. So, why don't people remember things that never happened? The answer might be simpler than you think. There's a psychological explanation for most of the Mandela Effect, known as the false memory effect. Sometimes our brains can play tricks on us, making us remember things that never happened or remembering them differently from how they actually went down. This often happens after hearing a story second or third hand. When someone tells us a story, we store it away in our memories and then retrieve it every time we want to recount it. Each time we do this, details may be added or removed, and eventually, the story may be completely unrecognizable from the original, but psychologists are still trying to understand why this phenomenon occurs. Most researchers believe that it happens because our brains try to make sense of incomplete information or fill in the blanks when we hear a story. This is usually done subconsciously, but sometimes we can trick our brains into doing it consciously. As in the case of the Mandela Effect, if enough people share the same false memory, it can easily become accepted as truth. And once that happens, it can be very difficult to change people's minds. Even if we're presented with evidence that proves our memories are wrong, we tend to ignore it or rationalize it away. This is known as the confirmation bias. Once we've formed a belief, we tend to seek out information that confirms it and ignore information that contradicts it. So if enough people believe that Nelson Mandela said, "We've always had Nelson Mandela," we tend to stop questioning it, even if there's no evidence that he ever said it. But not everyone is convinced that the Mandela Effect is just a case of false memories. Some believe that it's evidence of something much more sinister, that our reality is constantly changing, and that we're slipping between parallel universes without even realizing it. It sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, but there are a few theories that attempt to explain how this might be possible. One of the most popular theories is known as the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. According to this theory, every time a decision is made, the universe splits and creates two parallel universes, one where the decision was made and one where it wasn't. Eventually, these universes converge and diverge, again, creating an infinite number of parallel universes. This might sound crazy, but it's actually one of the most widely accepted theories among physicists. Another theory is the holographic principle. This theory posits that reality is like a hologram, and that everything we see is just an illusion. According to this view, there are an infinite number of parallel universes, but we can only perceive the one that we're in. It's possible that the Mandela Effect is simply a glitch in the matrix, a moment when the veil between the universes is thinnest and we catch a glimpse of what's on the other side. Proponents of this view believe that the changes we re-see are evidence of a higher power or intelligence manipulating reality. Some believe that it's God or a divine being of some kind, while others believe that it's an alien intelligence. Still, others believe that it's the result of government experiments or time travel. While the Mandela Effect might seem concerning, it's important to keep in mind that our memories are not always reliable. In fact, they're often inaccurate and incomplete. Just because we remember something doesn't mean it's true. In the case of the Mandela Effect, it's possible that we're all mistaken or that our memories have been influenced by outside factors. It's also possible that we're really experiencing glimpses of parallel universes, but there's no scientific evidence to support this claim. Instead, it's more likely that the Mandela Effect is simply a product of our fallible memories. As humans, we tend to look for patterns and meaning in everything we experience. When we notice a pattern, such as the false memories associated with the Mandela Effect, we try to make sense of it. We come up with explanations and theories, and we cling to them, even when there is no evidence to support them. It's important to be aware of this tendency and to be willing to question our own beliefs. The Mandela Effect is a reminder that we are not always as in control of our minds as we like to think. Our memories are not always accurate, and we can be easily fooled. It's important to keep this in mind in all aspects of our lives, not just when we're dealing with false memories. As for Fiona Broom, she continues to investigate the Mandela Effect and other paranormal phenomena. She believes that there is something more to the Mandela Effect than faulty memories, and that it is evidence of a higher power or intelligence manipulating reality. Whether or not we ever find out the truth behind the Mandela Effect, it's clear that our memories are not always reliable. We should be willing to question our own beliefs and be open to the possibility that we might be wrong. After all, it is only through humility and a willingness to learn that we can truly understand the world around us. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more great content. Thank you for watching.